brands could be encouraged to associate themselves with Somerset. Yo Valley, look at that hip advert. It doesn't say Somerset, it says West. And I think that's what we need to encourage. But people have to believe in the brand Somerset, what the brand Somerset is, and that's the opportunity. But we can start creating that brand via the hubs, via what we're doing. You've got potentially 3 hubs here that can work together in partnership to raise that profile and to see talent come through, get talent, export talent beyond Bristol, beyond the country, perhaps on a worldwide platform. Look at Aardman. Aardman is a company I find very inspiring, working in real time with Hollywood.
I think it's about the quality of the work. The Somerset Music Hub, if the Film and Media Hub, I mean, you guys, it's the quality of the work that's coming out, and that needs to speak for itself, and that needs to be the deciding factor.
That's the problem. I don't think there is a brand in Somerset, and that's the issue. I think it's kind of a little bit of a putting my marketing head on now in terms of what I do for the day job. I don't think there's a brand, even strong or weak. I don't think there's a brand at all. It's almost a kind of anonymous area in some ways. But as you say, there's an incredible Glastonbury Festival, and a lot of people here, and there's sort of things that are going on here. There's an incredible amount of really exciting stuff going on in Somerset in lots of industries. I mean, we've done research into it as part of our work in the food industry. Somerset's incredibly strong in the creative industry. It's incredibly strong, but no one's talking about it. No one's saying anything about it. As much within Somerset as anywhere else, everybody is very much doing their thing, doing very well, and achieving a great deal within a very limited economic or geographical region. But there's no big connection between all these different things that are going on to give the critical mass and to give the visibility that Somerset really deserves. And it kind of starts with having a belief. I'm not from Somerset; I'm from outside of Somerset, but I've lived a lot across the UK, and I haven't come across another region that has such a sense of kind of hiding its light under a bushel, really, that it doesn't really want to talk a great deal about itself and doesn't necessarily want to project an image that's actually born out of reality. There really is a strong creative industry in Somerset. There really is a lot of exciting stuff happening in Somerset, but no one's kind of coming together and saying, look, this is the brand of Somerset. Somerset is an incredibly creative, exciting place. It's not insular. It's got strong connections with Bristol, and through that, internationally. Don't be ashamed of the fact that we kind of need Bristol, but just as much Bristol needs Somerset as well for the creative people that are coming through. It just needs people to sort of come together and start making a noise and banging the drum a bit, I think.
Well, I think we've certainly got some people. Certainly got some people that we could, make a big noise about, and some of them are in the room. And I in particular, I want to mention Film Tank, which is James Burkett and Michael Howard, who are here with us now, because these guys, you came back from. Was it Newport that you went to? In Newport International Film School, and they've come back to little old Burnham-on-Sea, little old seaside town, and these guys are really pushing the boundaries and getting the work out there, and the work that you've had commissioned by the BBC recently, they've been very strong local stories. Can you just tell us a little bit about your company, yourselves, and your work, and then perhaps we could see a bit of it?
Yeah, well, we sort of both graduated from Newport University about a year ago now, and we decided to set up in Somerset. I don't think saying Film Tank is from Somerset has ever sort of put us back at all and from our ideas or anything. I think we're sort of proud of the fact that we sort of base ourselves here. I think Somerset's a great location just purely because you have the connections with Bristol, you have the connections, you've got the M5 motorway, you've got the connections to London, and I think it's just been a great place to sort of work from. And I think both me and Mike agree that there's certainly some great stories that are yet to be untold in Somerset that people just generally don't know about, like for instance the Bridgewater Carnival. I think it's just it's a fascinating place to be, and I'm very proud of being in Somerset because I was born and bred in Burnham, and it's just the technology is there these days where you can work out from your home. We are quite small relatively compared to most production companies where we don't have a huge production office. We just work out from our bedrooms at the moment, but I think that's just generally a sort of new revolution in filmmaking where people are allowed to do that, and it's just a new way. We're on the front of a new wave of creative people that hopefully are going to follow in Somerset.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stories in Somerset that kind of deserve a national profile, really, and I think that people can relate. You can have a sort of grandmother sipping a tea in Glasgow watching a Bridgewater Carnival and be amazed by it. I don't think it needs to stay secret to Somerset, really.
Okay, I want to ask you another question, but could I just flag up to the team? Could we get that the projector up and running, ready to show Film Tank's show reel, please? Whoever's got the right. Could I just ask you a quick question? Because you came back a year ago, and we met and we talked about you were looking at that time for kind of startup funding as a business. Looking back now, what could have been in place that would have helped you to kind of find your feet faster, or what are you looking for now to help your company grow?
I think it was interesting because we knew another company that set up in Wales, and they received a huge grant straight away just because they're based in Wales and that opportunity was there. When we came to Somerset, we applied for the same sort of funding, and we found it very, very difficult to even get meetings with them. And I don't know why that is, really.
We were sort of, not, I wouldn't say shunned, but there wasn't much interest in new startup companies in Somerset, and the support wasn't there, really. We went through many different areas, whether it was through business ventures or, for instance, the Princess Trust. But this was on the back of the last government, and there wasn't much there in terms. And now we're deep in recession. I don't think there's much there anyway now. But
I think we have always believed in ourselves as much as anything, and we've always been willing to put that investment in ourselves and say that, just give it a go attitude and raise the finances ourselves in order. We've always used the money that we've made from projects to finance buying kit to make better things in the future.
A lot of people do that. They'll invest in their first camera and their first iMac. But you in particular, you spend an enormous amount of time investing in your ideas, just in developing those ideas. I know that's another junction you were talking about, when you went up with your taster tape. So how important do you think it is, just in terms of, what kind of your time do you put into developing those creative ideas before you'll even look for a broadcaster? Or
I don't think it's not exactly a 9-to-5 job, is it?
For me, it's it's full time. I'm thinking about it all the time, and I think for me, I always want an idea to be absolutely fully formed. It has to be tangible, because I don't want to take an idea and then just kill it in the first 30 seconds. I need to be able to answer all those questions, and I think if you believe in an idea, I think we can convince people that they can give us the money to go make it. And I think all of our ideas have always been fully formed.
So do you see value in this hub idea?
Generally, yeah. I think what I wouldn't want to see is sort of a hub which is essentially a better version of Facebook. That's not what I want. Yeah. I think a great, you have to see people in the real world, whether it's a monthly networking event or something. I wouldn't want it to be, my personal opinion, I wouldn't want it to be some sort of cyber world where we're all talking each other through messaging.
Real time, yeah, definitely.
I think that is it's very interesting that some of these there are places like that. For instance, Step to Inspire, which is a brand new website that's just been set up. That's from somebody who was from our university, actually, who graduated 2 years previous from us. They set that up, and it's going well, but I find it slightly strange to be talking to people in a sort of a cybernetic world. I think you still need to, sit down, have a coffee with people, talk to people about your ideas and stuff. That's, generally how it goes.
I think our attitude has always been as well, you find some companies and they kind of see competition, and I don't think we've ever had that. I think filmmaking is all about collaboration, and great filmmaking is all about working with people, and that's what we want to do, because when we make a film, we try and get as many people to watch it as possible before we take it anywhere, because every single one of those persons will just give a little detail to it that'll make it a little bit better. And it's all about those little details.
I think,
as well.
If we all work together in Somerset, then Somerset, or generally the creative industry in the southwest, is going to grow. If we all try and work against each other as competition, then we're not going to go anywhere.
Did anybody else have any other comments or thoughts about the hub? What for us is the next step then?
I wrote that comment up there saying, what is the hub? Where's the physical sense of it? Now I'm hearing the hub a lot, and I like the sound of it, and the idea is great, but what is it? Where is it? How do we get in touch with it? And how do we keep in contact with it? Now, I completely agree with the fact that I'd love the idea that we all meet up and get together. That'd be awesome if there was some sort of events organised where, even if it was just to come and talk about things that are going on. I mean, that always improves the social networking bonds so that everyone's got ideas floating around and flying all over the place. But there has to be something that says it's here, that this is the hub, this is where you can come and, just get a hold of it, sign up to it. Some sort of yellow pages that says that's who you are and you're signed up. It doesn't really matter if you're a business, an organisation or a single follower. It'd be nice if it's got all that kind of detail in it, I think, but there needs to be something somewhere that you can actually sign up to it and not actually have to physically be there. Like the internet, great and everything, but I'm thinking like a yellow pages of just people saying, yeah, we want to be part of this. This is what we do. This is what we're interested in, and this is what we want to see from the hub.
One of the fundamental things we did first, the Music Hub, was put a directory together. So I mean, obviously that takes funding, but putting a directory together with your name in it, other filmmakers, Foley artists, whoever, a directory of people that are interested and involved and need to be involved with businesses that they want to promote would be a starting point. Yeah. I mean, but also, I think this is going to be the starting point, isn't it?
Well,
it was the starting point for Somerset Film 15 years ago. That's exactly what we did, and it works. That works. But I think there's a number of people wanting to come in. I think John was about to say something.
So I was just going to say, I think before we start thinking about the outputs in terms of directors and so on, what it needs fundamentally, like any project, is it needs to have a vision of what it wants to achieve. It needs to have aims. It needs to have things put in place where it can measure whether it's successful or not. I mean, this is how we approach any marketing or business projects or the festival that we do. Is that is initially you set out, you say, well, okay, what is it that's missing? What is it that we need to achieve for our industries in Somerset? You document them. You talk amongst yourselves to define the vision, define the goal of what you're about to achieve. And then, whether you need to run a directory, whether you need to have a physical or a virtual presence, all these things will come out once you understand what you actually want to achieve with the hub. Without the vision, there's no hub. And I think that's should be the focus at this point, should be to try and find, okay, at the end of the day, the idea of a hub sounds great, it sounds like we're all kind of buying into that, but actually what is it tangibly that it wants to achieve? What do we want at the end of it? In 5 years' time, we look and say, this hub has been fantastically successful because it's achieved these aims. We've got to define what those aims are.
You've got to sell the idea, haven't you? Without just saying hub.
No.
You are a hub. This is a hub, isn't it? Where filmmakers come and exchange, but it definitely needs that. When you sit down in front of people that are outside of this room, you'll be saying, "We are the hub. We are the," and that's what and it kind of is there. It's there, but you've got to kind of put it down. Then you've got to market it. I know it's not the most exciting word to use, but you've got to market. You've got to communicate it, and you can do that online and offline. The best thing for me was conversations. Talking to people, because we knew what our vision was with the Shepton Digital Arts Festival, and wherever we asked, people said yes, I'll get involved. From Edgar Wright, Duncan Powell, Jane Chard, Martha Holmes, who's a series director and producer of the Life Attenborough programmes. They just said yes.
Just to go back to what I was saying, the reason for that was because we were able to go to them and say, this is what we want to achieve, and this is why we think this festival will achieve it. And when they saw those aims and they saw that it had been planned out in a way that was moving towards something really tangible and really beneficial to the community in Shepton and further on, that they were willing to, very easily able to persuade some very influential people to get in. It's amazing really what we've achieved in terms of who we got involved with something that was, started off on the back of a fag packet 2 years ago, and it's because of having that really clear, defined vision of what we want to achieve and being able to communicate that to people. And I think that's where it starts with the hub.
I mean, for me, in the end, it's about growing our businesses through collaborative working for the enrichment of life in this part of the world. Whether you call it Somerset, you call it part of the Southwest, or whatever you want to call it. But that's, in the end, we all want to grow the businesses. Why do we want to do that? Because actually we want to improve the quality of life for ourselves, and for everybody else that's, for our communities.
Market the area as the place, for film, for music. When I was at college,